Next up we have Aleksandra Milne. Aleksandra is a designer and digital lead at Zero G, but she started her career differently with a degree in craft design from NCAD. She then went on to receive a master's degree in creative digital media in 2014, and she is also a Nielsen Norman Group certified practitioner, which is pretty amazing. So Aleksandra is going to be talking about communicating with cavemen, user goals versus brand goals. So everyone welcome Aleksandra.
Hello. Can we bring it down a little bit? Okay, cool. Thanks. So this is obviously a facetious title, but I just want to start by saying how great it is to be in a room full of so many people who understand and appreciate the value of bringing users into the design process. But that's not the case for the rest of the world, and it's definitely not the case for my world. And in my world, I work in branding, and people come to us for the way that we think, for our brains, and also for some pretty awesome design. But I suppose I want to start by telling you a story of something that happened to me. So I'll set the scene. It's 2 minutes before a client comes in for a big meeting, and the creative director turns, looks at all the work on the wall that we've done, and fundamentally questions everything. Literally everything. The research that we had done, the reason behind it, the wireframes that we'd done, and you can imagine that felt pretty bad. So I kind of want to talk today about why I think that happened, and more importantly, why I think that there's this perception that if you involve the user, that it's going to make it a hindrance more than a benefit. So some of the reasons are time, cost, we fear what we don't understand, that it's going to be additional complexity, and this idea that my intuition and my experience is not enough. So first and foremost, I want to say that obviously it does not have to take a lot of time. You can do something in a really short amount of time and it'll be invaluable to the project. There's this perception that it takes a while, but it doesn't. It also doesn't have to break the bank. You can do things in a really lightweight, nimble fashion and it'll still be so valuable to the project. Just going to wait here, I'm not going to say anything. Fear of the unknown. We really do fear what we don't understand. And it's our job to show people the value of things. The number one reason why people do not adopt user research is that they don't understand it. So this idea that NASA spent millions creating a pen to go to space and the Russians brought up a pencil, it does not have to be complex. And in fact, if you do it properly, it will make it even more easy for people. And then the idea that the designer's intuition and expertise is invaluable. You can't have a good project without it. But when it's coupled and married with research behind it, then that's a really good marriage. So what I've learned, the 7 rules for transition in an environment to get people to value users in the design process. So first and foremost, never assume anything. Don't assume that the people that you're talking to understand what the hell you're saying or the value of what you're proposing. Involve people early. So involve your entire team in the process that you're about to undergo and explain everything to them so everybody is on the same page. Actions are so much louder than words, especially if you're trying to convince people of the value of something. Don't tell them it's valuable, show them. So take some initiative. If you've no budget, then do some ad hoc research and come back and show them how much of a benefit it's been. And this isn't going to happen overnight. It's not one big, massive, big bang change that everybody realizes this is amazing. It's incremental, and it needs to be incremental for it to have any kind of sticking power. And this just kind of speaks for itself. It's one user is 100% better than no users. So even if you can get yourself in front of one user to research them or one user to test them, it'll show people just how valuable it is. Be constructive and demonstrate. So bring other team members into the process so that they can learn and they're not fearing the unknown. And they'll be more inclined to want to bring that process into their next project. And lastly, and I'll leave you on this, you cannot be absolutist. You have to be flexible. There's going to be so many variables, whether it's scope, whether it's time, whether it's client or your team. You really need to be able to bend and flex depending on the project. So, thanks.